Hi, I'm Bobby Fischer, and this is another Fischer Builds. I'm continuing on with my Power Ranger cosplay build. Last time I did the coverage on the helmet, how I constructed it, and just everything that went into putting this together for myself. A lot of fun. Check out that video. I'll have that link below. But now I'm going to cover the rest of the suit. So you've seen the helmet. You got a lot of components that go together with this suit. I'm just going to start from the ground up and show you everything that I've done. So the boots, relatively simple, but one of the biggest pains in the butt to do. Just a plain white cosplay boot from shoes.com. It has a zipper up the inner calf. The original Power Ranger costume had a zipper up the back. Didn't really bother me. They still look good. And then the outside, the armor plating, that is just the 5mm EVA foam I got from a hobby store. So there's 2 layers, and this is velcroed with self-adhesive velcro to the leather of the boot, but then I want it to be stronger. I did realize that once I was wearing it and my body temperature heated this up, the self-adhesive came undone. It almost reactivated, and this started peeling away. So I redid it with hot glue, and it held up for an entire con. We went to Chicago Comic-Con at Rosemont. Had no problems, nothing peeling off. So there's the boot. And the foam is flexible. And how I did this was I did a V groove. Where is it? Did a V groove to make out each of these notches just evenly spaced all the way around on the backing piece. That backing piece was then heat sealed just using a heat gun, and then sprayed with black Plasti Dip to give it a base coat to seal everything in. Then on top of the black Plasti Dip, I did gold Plasti Dip. The way gold Plasti Dip, where it's transparent, it's clear. If you don't do it on top of a black background, a black base, you'll see anything that's underneath it. If you do it on white, it'll be very, very odd, almost silver shimmery. It doesn't come out as clear as on black. So I highly recommend do a black base, even if it's painted, but black Plasti Dip and then gold Plasti Dip. It bonds to itself. It's a very strong bond. It's very, very clean. And the black, I actually did a chamfer bevel coming down from the edge, so it's straight down, and then it angles in, and then follows the line of the boot, and then angles back out, and then comes down. Just a little added detail. Yeah. So that's a boot, very basic, but pain in the butt. Getting that shape, I highly recommend you just do it with paper. Get this shape in paper. Peeling off, it has a curve on the top, it has a curve on the bottom to form around your leg so that it sits level. It's not a tube. It actually has some taper to it. So do it with paper first. I did it using a very large, like Slurpee 7-Eleven type large gulp cup to kind of mimic the cup of this boot top. That worked out. You just keep rolling it and you follow the curve. I still had to hand adjust it, and as you can see, there's a little bit of, mishap, but it's not noticeable. It doesn't bother me, and it looked great at the con, as you guys will see in the photos. All right, from the boots, we get to the belt. The belt I had a lot of fun doing. So here's the belt. There's Saba. Good old Saba, White Ranger's best buddy. So the belt, let me take Saba out here. And we'll get to that. That is a lot of fun. So the belt buckle, I actually 3D modeled this in Fusion 360. It was the first thing I did. It's the reason I downloaded and installed Fusion 360 so that I can make this belt buckle. I made this and then I sent it off to 3dhubs.com to get printed. Cost about $9. For $5 or so additional, they offered to do some finish work on this, sanding and bead blasting. Gave it a nice smooth finish, and I'll put some pictures on there, and it looks very smooth, and it has bevels on the edges, and then the edge is black, like the show, and that's just attached with some elastic, 1 inch, and then to get it really snug against the belt, I just fold it over a piece of plastic and then hit it with a staple. But that sits flush against your belly, and you can't tell because I'm wearing a white undersuit, the white just goes invisible. The belt is on a 2-inch roll of nylon. This I got off of Amazon. I'll have a link below. Very durable. The only thing you have to really do to work with this stuff is once you cut it off, you just hit the end with a lighter and it seals itself. It kind of, you know, chars the end so it has a nice scar or a scab, so to speak, on the end so that it doesn't unravel, because it's very, you know, it'll just pull away. But that, very inexpensive but very durable, and a lot of stuff sticks to it. I use this for both my gold belt as well as the white belt for the Pink Ranger, which I'll show you guys in a different video. Belt buckle, just a 2-inch plastic clasp buckle. And then the holster, I had a lot of fun with. I want to do something different. If you watch the show, when he, you know, pulls the sword, this is just flopping open. So I wanted something that could do that. I didn't want to do snaps. It didn't feel like, oh, Power Ranger uses snaps, whatever. So I decided to get big old magnets, and I'm very, very happy with these. It just snaps shut. Did you hear it? That's the best. That goes around Saba. It holds very well. I'll show you guys. This is a heavier prop. It is very top heavy. There's actually a motor in the mouth. So Saba's in there, and this is just to keep him balanced up and down. And I rotate that so that the buckle is underneath the loop of the belt. That's just to keep him balanced, but those magnets are not letting go. So that was just my twist on it. It was very stable, didn't come off for anything at the con, was safe. It was actually acceptable that this is keeping it holstered. All they did was put a little orange tag that said it was inspected, but this was acceptable for a con. Just magnets and then a little bit more of the white elastic, which blended, you know, relatively well with the handle. Didn't really, you know, make it look bad or anything. But yeah. That's the belt. The material, it was a gold. It's half plastic, half material. I don't know what it would be used for. I want to say it could have been a tablecloth or something. It has a plastic coating on it, which is the noisy here. But it is fabric. I mean, I could sew it. So I'm not really sure. And then the black trim is just black pinstripe tape. It stuck very well to this plastic papery type gold. Didn't work so well on the white leather belt, but for this, no problems, no peeling, no pull up, so they're not very cool. And with the same region as the belt, you have the groin area that guys as cosplayers will have to address. It's a skin tight unitard. Be polite, there's children. There's people of all, you know, creeds and sexualities at these cons. Cover yourself. I use just a plain old athletic supporter. It's inexpensive and it does the job. I used a pair of sliding shorts for baseball. That actually helped hold everything down initially, and then the cup was actually very low profile, so it wasn't a, you know, giant bulge or anything. So just think about that when you're going in these tighter cosplays. People are going to be looking, people take photos, you don't want anything, you know, out on display. So, little tip. So the suit itself, the undersuit, there's two pieces. The highly coveted, you know, extremely attractive and very fun to wear Underhood. This is just 4-way stretch spandex. I actually just bought a piece. I found a tutorial from DekaMexican on YouTube. I'll have a link to that. Just a basic hood sewing with 1-inch elastic strap. I use that throughout the project. If you can use materials for multiple purposes, it's easier to justify buying in bulk and having it for future projects. Just sewing, basically you need to cover your neck and the top of your head. It does wick some sweat, and there's a lot of sweat, but it's really just to cover your neck and to keep that line from your helmet down into the suit. This goes on first, then the undersuit. The undersuit itself, this is just a dance unitard. Got off Amazon. Just a one piece. It's spandex. It's stretchy. The only modification I made was a zipper. Yes, add a zipper for nature. For guys, it's easier. We can go to the bathroom standing up. Girls, you have to take your whole suit down in order to sit down to use the facility. So be mindful. Think about things like that when you're making cosplay costumes. How are you going to go to the bathroom? If you're out, you're hot. You should stay hydrated. You're going to have to relieve yourself. So think about that. That is an excellent tip I actually picked up from Doran. It was in his book, Foamsmith. So it's just pretty much the best part of that book. I've told him himself that is the most genius thing he has ever said. Just as a joke. He's obviously said amazing things. All of this is possible because of guys like him. Alright, and then under it, it's a white spandex suit. It's just white kind of compression material. This is just a Tommy Copper undershirt. Long sleeve, it has wicked, perforated ribs and armpits. The big bonus, it actually had thumb holes. Thumb holes for the sleeve, so it's like kind of long, that awesome sporty emo look. But when you're wearing the gloves, there's a little bit of a gap between the cuff and the glove, because it's a sport glove that this covers, so you have 100% coverage. That was just an added bonus. It was just a happy find. But it looks good. Very low logos. There's one on the back, but that goes underneath the shield, so no one sees it. And then you put the unitard over it. It dulls a lot of the logos, but you could still see them. Pants, again, just compression leggings. It does have some cool kind of techie seam lines on it. I don't know if you can see that. But underneath an undersuit, it looks like it could be armor plating. It could be deliberate. I didn't say otherwise. I did have people ask me what it was, but it is. It's just compression leggings to cover everything. I was wearing a cup and sliding shorts and all sorts of other, hold down things. So yeah, wearing multiple layers, it covers you. It is white. With other Power Ranger cosplays, you may not need to wear an undersuit. I would still recommend it just for, sweat wicking. You don't want a sweaty Power Ranger suit. So just something like that. Think about what you would want to wear under it. I would recommend white. All Power Rangers have a white, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers have a white diamond encrusted in the chest and the back. If you start to sweat, that will show. If you have anything underneath it, it'll show. Alright, so that's the suit. On top of the suit goes the armbands. That's what I said. I'm going to do something different with the armbands. I did foam. On the Anarchy style suits or on the show, it's almost a t-shirt with sleeves coming out of it. It just didn't feel like a uniform. It didn't, to me, match up with the rest of the uniforms. So I did these armor bands for the arms. It just seemed to go better with the gilding of the shield and the boots and the gauntlets. So EVA foam, and I beveled, it's a V-groove in the middle, and then I beveled the outside. Make sure best I can. Beveled the outside edges, and then I also beveled the inside edges where they meet. Inside, what's fun about foam is it's flexible. Elastic attached to white nylon, the belt. So This stretches and it is attached to the foam via the nylon. Nylon sticks very, very well to foam via with hot glue. The elastic doesn't want to stick with hot glue. With the expanding and contracting, it breaks up the glue. It can break it down and wear it down. They're kind of both rubber-based products. So by attaching the elastic to the nylon first by sewing it, then attaching the nylon to the foam, it's an unbreakable bond. It's not coming apart. This technique can be used for any type of banding, leg straps for bandoliers or anything like that, or holsters. This type of attachment can be very, very helpful. It's also expandable. If I was to, bulk up and gain weight, it can actually grow with me. And you can put it at different heights and it stays. The only problem I have with this, and it's something I would do differently, is attach this piece somehow, maybe with a button or a snap or a piece of Velcro, to the undersuit, to the unitard. That only problem I had was you're taking photos and you're walking around, you're brushing into people. This can get caught on stuff, and the only problem I had was every once in a while it slid down. That was every once in a while I had to do that. Not a big deal, but everything else was very secure. So to me, that stuck out as a problem. So lesson learned, I do recommend if you have anything like this, have a secondary backup redundancy. Obviously that's just a redundant statement, to catch it. So yeah, button, Velcro, maybe even just a little adhesive and have this on the suit. Not really sure. I'm probably gonna try something for the next con. So moving on to the gloves, I had gold, again with the Plasti Dip, gold on the underlayer, and then black trim pieces going around, same flat vertical, and then a bevel in, down, bevel out, and then finish it off. And I chose to do a zipper. It seemed more legit than a piece of Velcro or something like that, and the leather cuffs that the white gloved Power Rangers, the standard Power Rangers have, I wanted it to kind of match with that costume styling. So the Velcro didn't work with that. It's harder to get on and off. Zipper, you just stick your hand through, zip it up, and it's on. So it turned out really good. One thing I did find just through playing and experimenting and test fitting and whatnot, when I'm rotating my wrist, the zipper wants to go down almost like like a Batman bladed cuff type thing. So we had to fix that. So I added Velcro to the inside to attach to the closure of the glove. So now the glove, these were really fun. These I was familiar with going into it. These are Neumann lineman football gloves. I actually wore these when I played football in high school, and they're very durable, but I was familiar, they had the same ribbing as the gloves on the show. So when I decided to do this, I knew exactly I could totally use those gloves. The Canon, the end-all be-all glove is the Kakazan glove from Japan, about $130 for the same style. It's leather, it's cowhide, but these were $17. These started off, they were gray palms, gray index finger, gray thumb. The way I was able to get this look was Angelus leather paints. A lot of cosplayers swear by it. I was like, hey, I'll give it a shot. I need to make gray gloves, pieces of gray gloves, white. All I did is take a seam ripper. There's two patches on it. A patch on the back of the hand and a patch on the closure. Seam ripper, patch comes off. There's no adhesive, no nothing. Comes right off. Then it's a football glove. It has tack for grip for catching the ball on the palms. I soak these overnight in a bucket of water, of hot water with OxyClean. It softens up, it breaks down that adhesion, and it actually makes it pliable. You rinse them off real good. It's ready to be treated. with the gloves, Angelus has a 3-step paint process. First, there's the prepper. The prepper, basically breaks down any seals, any coatings that may be on it. Typically used on shoes and whatnot. It has that sheen, that plasticky kind of rubbery feel. That just preps the leather to accept color, pigment, or another seal. So I do color it all, or do the prepper all over the glove. Then I did white paint. I hand painted with a foam brush, just the throwaway dollar brushes from Home Depot. Hand painted 3 coats on it, and it was actually looking pretty great. But to finish it, I just wanted to try it. I wanted to learn a new tool, so I got an HVLP automotive sprayer. I actually borrowed one, and then I ended up buying my own. But it went on super smooth, had a very, very nice finish. So I liked it, my preference, but you could totally do it by hand. Thin layers is key. When you do it thicker, it gets gooey and it doesn't dry right, and you have to actually remove it and do it over again. So thin layers, take your time with this, and you'll be very happy. These gloves are more durable than cosplay gloves. They're real football gloves. They're meant for, I guess what you would say is combat. But they don't get much closer. I did like the style of these gloves a little bit better for the White Ranger because the show has these white ribs. This glove has an added knuckle pad that it was a little more aggressive look. And I liked it for the cosplay that I was doing. So, turned out great. I'm happy with it. I've had a lot of people, I talked to, Power Ranger cosplay groups on Facebook and stuff. A lot of people love how this was done. So if you're looking for an inexpensive way to do this, altogether, these were less than $50 to do, top to bottom, because I did it myself. Still, less than half the cost of the legit glove, and it's cosplay. I'm not a real Power Ranger. I'm not looking for exact. This is passable, and it looks great. So with the glove, then we add the cuff. Slide the cuff on, and then the closure ends up becoming the seam of the glove. It's a little off because I'm wearing a watch. But then no matter what I do, the zipper stays on the bottom side. So I can rotate, I can move, I can brush stuff, and it's not going anywhere. It stays on the bottom. Okay, so it turned out very nice. Okay, so now the thing everybody wants to know how to build. Ready? The shield. So this is a lot of fun. I took a unconventional way and made it conventional. The White Power Ranger does not have any type of musculature form on the front. I decided to add that just based on some cosplays that I saw, and again, it's my cosplay, so I wanted it to look that way. So what I did, it's 3 pieces on the front. Half of the shoulder, the armor, and then the chest, the upper chest, the under chest, and then the abdominals. 2 halves, so it's split down the middle. So we have one side, 2 side, and the back is just 2 pieces on the whole shoulder, and the side is complete. So those are 1 piece. On top of that, then I cut strips of EVA foam into slats, evenly spaced, a quarter, almost a ½ inch from the edge where I wanted this banding to go. That foam is actually foam backer rod for plumbing in gaps. I took that, split it in half, and it sticks perfectly. One tip about this, you do not heat shrink that. So pretty much build the shield, everything except the emblem and the piping around the edges. You can do the slats, but pretty much just front, back, and shoulders. Heat seal it. I hit it with a layer of Plasti Dip, then add the half backer rod piping, and then you're going to paint it gold. I taped off and painted gold Plasti Dip. I sprayed it with black Plasti Dip first, then painted it with gold Plasti Dip, just like you do. But I made the mistake of trying to heat seal it. I didn't know. First cosplay, lesson learned. I didn't have time or energy to redo it, so I just kind of fixed it and touched it up using Kwik Seal to build up and kind of close gaps and stuff. I also had to rebuild that foam. So lesson learned, but if you're going to do a shield like this, the backer rod, just glue it on with rubber cement. Don't heat it up again. Once you start getting the backer rod, you're done heating. So make sure that's all done first. Yeah, this is just foam floor mat from Amazon. You can kind of see inside that lovely texture. Oh, let's go through the arm. Yeah. And you can see there's the seam between the front and the back half, and the front half and the back half are not equal portion, as you can see. So on the front it's higher because there's a bevel going upward versus the back. So when it's on your body, that arc sits straight. You know, this point to this point, once it's on your body, it's going to arc backwards because of the arc of your back. I did heat form this to my body, so it has my shape. It is very close, and the way it measures is the edge of this is about ½ an inch past my shoulder. So it is custom to me, so I thought about doing a template for the shapes. I don't know if anybody likes this chest kind of convex forming of it. I also want to do another one where it's just the standard. I did mine based off of a combination of the action figure as well as the Japanese version of the show versus the American show. It was shorter, it sat higher versus the Jason David Frank version where it comes down to his belt. Just to, you know, if you watch the action scenes versus the command center scenes, it's pretty obvious. So that's the suit, literally top to bottom. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer about any particular piece. They're all built differently. Everything was a different experience. The boots are different from the gloves. The helmet is different from the shield. It was a fantastic experience, and I do recommend something like this. This took about 5 months. So from, you know, early spring on right until the heart of summer. And it was just on the weekends at night. Sometimes when I had time, it wasn't, you know, a long drawn out thing. It was just as I had time, I was working on this as a hobby side project. In total, probably around 80-90 hours between the helmet and everything else, just learning things, reading things. My motto is never stop learning. So every little piece and every new tool that I get to pick up, that's the fun. The cosplay, I don't know how often I'm going to use this, how often I'm going to wear it, but what I learned from it, that's what I'm really taking away. And that's what you should take away too from watching these videos and from trying to do some of this stuff. It is fun, it is addicting. So go out and try it. Have fun, keep building. I'll see you next time.